Hey there, folks. Are you exhausted after the holidays? If so, you are not alone. Between Halloween and all of the holidays between that and New Year's, the magic can quickly turn into overwhelm, especially for parents. This simple January reflection practice helps you identify what worked, what didn't, and how to create holidays that align with your values next year. So grab your calendar and your journal, and let's make next holiday season feel more like ease and less like exhaustion. Thanks for taking a moment with me today. This is Faith from Mountain Mom Massage. We offer deep tissue, prenatal, and postpartum massage for all genders and generations in Boulder and Lafayette, Colorado. And we also have an online program, Partner Massage Essentials for Pregnancy, where you can learn to massage your partner at home during pregnancy. And now a mini course, the 5-day Partner Massage Challenge for Pregnancy. That is 5 minutes a day for 5 days, and it's only $25. But let's move into today's audio blog. Remember, this is also a written article that you can find at a link in the description. Today, we've got a January journaling practice for holiday planning. So let's go back. It's January. How do you feel? Energized for the year? Drained and exhausted? Holidays can be amazing and magical, but sometimes when you put it all together, all that magic and all of that out of rhythm living can just be too much. You can easily end up drained and resenting what you first hoped would be a fun and exciting occasion. If you're ready to feel more ease next January, I've got you. Today, I'm guiding you through a short, reflective journaling practice to help align next year's holiday season more closely with your values. If you're thinking, hey, I really nailed it this year. Everything was simplified, stress-free, and magical. Then kudos to you. Stop reading here. Tell us the secrets to your success and come write a how-to blog for me this fall. But if you think there are things between October, because let's be real, the holidays start with Halloween if you're a parent, and January that could use a tweak, stick with me. We want to recognize holiday burnout. Personally, I don't think of the holidays as being especially high stress or over the top at our house. But then I notice little things in mid-December that tell me my brain is on overload and my resources are dwindling. Things like forgetting to bring part of my lunch to work, or accidentally leaving the garage door open, or waking up without feeling fully refreshed. Do you know the signs when your system is overextended? Why review the holidays in January? You might be thinking, but Faith, I just want to leave any holiday stress behind me, not think about it. Step into my aspirational New Year's resolutions. I don't want to rehash the last 3 months. So why should we do this in January? Because the feelings are fresh. This is the time to review. By the time you're planning next year's holiday season in 9 or 10 months, you'll have forgotten this totally overcooked feeling you have now. So let's review while the emotions and motivation are still strong. Grab your holiday calendar and your journal, and let's begin. And since you're here listening, see if you can mentally review, but I would encourage you to take out your calendar because our brains can be so biased and aspirational, and our calendars often create a more accurate record of our day-to-day. Pause this audio anytime you need if you're doing the journaling practices as you listen. So step 1, we're going to capture the overall feeling. First, write down any big overarching feelings you've had about the holidays right now, or emotions you remember feeling in the moment. If you have children in school or childcare, again, I encourage you to include Halloween through the end of winter school break for all of these exercises. Imagine these as brushstroke outlines, this big overarching feeling, or even as if it was like a photo filter laying over the events. And just because it's always worth saying, any feeling here is just fine. There's no judgment. Resentment, joy, loneliness. We know this feeling isn't all of you. It's just one moment. It's just one piece. So when you've got your calendar and a journal or a spare piece of paper, go through and look at your calendar week by week from mid-October to December 31st, or whenever your kids go back to school after winter break, and make a list of major activities in your journal or on the piece of paper. include social activities, work activities, and family events. Things like Friendsgivings, recitals, family gatherings, gifting, work parties, and even big work deadlines or other deadlines. Check in with yourself for each activity that you've listed. How did you feel while planning for that activity? How did you feel while doing that activity? And how did you feel after that activity? Pause here, go through that. You might expect it to take anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes, depending on how full your calendar is. Now that you've done that, sort your hell yes and hell no lists. Get extreme with me for a moment. Put every holiday related activity into a hell yes or a hell no list. Hell yes means I love it all day. I would hate to miss it, no matter how much effort it takes. Or the hell no list is basically like a I never need to do that again list. I'm not going to make sure you never do your hell no's, but I do want to be sure you really get to enjoy your hell yes events. Now that you've got those two lists, step 4, let's set our intentions for next year. So think about how you want to feel next year over the holidays. Write these feelings down somewhere you can find them again, because they're going to be our guiding light. Write down your intentions and ideas for the holidays next year. What activities bring this feeling that you're cultivating to life? Does it include more social time? Does it include more introversion? And remember that we're finding a balance here. Sometimes we want to keep our holiday activities exactly as they are, even if they feel overwhelming. And in that case, instead of cutting anything out, we need to add in more nurturing time to keep ourselves feeling full. Or maybe for you, there's traditions that your kids or your parents absolutely love that you hate. Maybe there's something you enjoy giving back to the community at this time of year, but it's also very draining. We can respect these important traditions, and we can also take care of ourselves and our own energy. So just to clarify here, of course, I'm a massage therapist. We're a massage therapy practice at Mountain Mama Massage. We are happy to see you for massage in December to help keep you going. We love to support our clients through seasons of stress with body work and spacious nervous system resets. But I'm also talking about lowering your day-to-day overwhelm during a busy season. Maybe the way you take care of yourself is a massage, or maybe it's having a go-to holiday outfit. Maybe it's simplifying your recipes and your mealtime, admitting that peanut butter sandwiches can totally be dinner. Maybe it's carving out 10 minutes each day for practicing mindfulness or reading a novel, taking a daily walk, or any activity that helps you slow down, helps you fill up. So I want to give you an example of someone I know who really made the holidays work for you. And I have many examples for this of people who have done such a beautiful job doing this review of their holidays and then making the change. But here's one. As an example to get you inspired. One of my friends with young kids celebrates Christmas, and she noticed that every year she and her husband were up late after the big family Christmas Eve dinner, finishing special last-minute present setups until late in the night. And then for Christmas Day, both parents were totally exhausted and unable to be present with their kids. So she made a change. Now the big family dinner is December 23rd, and they eat pre-made lasagna and snuggle watching movies at home for Christmas Eve with normal bedtime and plenty of time for the adults to sprinkle the Christmas magic after the kids go to bed. What's great is that this was the perfect shift for her current season of life. And maybe in the future, when gifts are smaller and easier to put together, it shifts again. So let's make your lists for next year. Grab your journal again and make 3 lists. Things, and these are probably going to come from your hell yes side, things that you're excited to include in your holidays next year. List number 2, things that you hope not to do next year. And 3, things that you want to do to take care of yourself through the harder parts of the holidays. Okay, so we've got list 1, things you're excited to include. List 2, the things you're looking to cut out, things you hope not to do next year. And 3, what you want to do to take care of yourself as you move through the holidays. I'm going to get you set up for success here. If you know you're someone who forgets new priorities partway through the year, I have 2 ideas for you. First, you could add a calendar reminder in September to reread this part of your journal. So that's a really quick one. Or second, you can use a site like Future Me, I'll link it below, where you can write an email to yourself and schedule it to send in a few months. Or you can use your email's built-in feature to write an email with a future send date. But I like Future Me because I don't see the email, right? I write that email and then I don't see it again until it arrives in my inbox. Step 6 in this whole process is that we need to communicate the plan. It's our last step here. Once you have a real plan in place for your holidays next year, see if there's anyone you need to communicate with around your new plan. Do you need to let your kids know ahead of time that something is changing? Do you want to let the neighbors know you're no longer hosting the holiday block party and someone else is welcome to step in? Make a plan now for sharing those updates with family. It doesn't mean you have to share them this moment, but do have a plan for when and how you'll share them. Clarity is kindness. And it's really not your job to manage anyone else's feelings about the holidays, but especially if you're planning a big shift, just giving people some time to process it ahead of time is also kind. And honestly, if everyone is feeling stuck in an old routine, you might try travel or even just like a little road trip that can get everyone out of their holiday tradition must-have routine and open to something new. When my grandfather passed away many years ago, we knew the first Christmas without him would be really hard. So we made a huge change from our always home for Christmas traditions and took a big trip over the holidays with my grandmother and another multi-generational family. It was a ton of fun, and it kicked off a new tradition of spending the holidays with that other family sometimes, and even just opened us up to the idea that changing our holiday routine could still be really fun. So let's sort of review this whole holiday review process. Let's recap this whole holiday review process. You started by checking in with the broad brushstrokes of how you felt about this particular holiday season. Then you noted anything you want to keep the same and a few things that aren't working so well, your hell yes and hell no lists. Third, you set the intention for how you want to feel next year. Next, you made a list of what you hope to include and remove from next year. Then you made an outline of how you'll take care of your own needs throughout the holidays. Finally, you created a communication plan for sharing the changes with others. Moving forward with intention. As we get into holiday planning and we feel family or internal pressure to make the holiday amazing, we often forget how overwhelmed we can feel when everything adds up. We end up just doing all the holiday must-dos without as much joy, instead of what we set our intentions to fully enjoy. Next year, instead of automatically saying yes or no to every event invitation or hosting opportunity, you're going to pause. You're going to read the invitation and ask, does this get me closer to or further from the feeling I'm cultivating for the holidays this year? And remember, we can always review again next year and make a different decision next time.